What's going on, guys? It's your boy ATF Cobra, and today I wanted to talk to you guys about something that nobody is actually really discussing, and nobody really has thought about or even decided on even purchasing. I don't know if anybody is or has anybody else been talking about it, but Crysis 3 seems to be one of those games that's on my list. Actually, I'm kind of excited about getting this game. I can't wait till it drops, and the reason for it is because Crysis 2 has so much potential. It has so much greatness to be a good game. I mean, the beta came out right. They made some changes, but for the full game, it just didn't feel right. I mean, it felt really clunky, and the controls and sometimes stealth mode was a little bit. It seemed overpowered. If you really knew how to use stealth mode, you could really do some damage, which was kind of weird to have this cloaking ability in the game and have the game still fun, because it can be very annoying with snipers camping in a tower, or there's a lot of things that can make this game very frustrating with that cloak mode. But all in all, I think it was still a fun game, even though some people just passed on it. There are currently people still playing it right now. I mean, I played it a couple times. I don't know if I'll keep playing it because it just doesn't feel buttery smooth. Everybody wants to play a game that feels smooth and fresh. The graphics were perfect. They were amazing, and the gameplay just seemed right. I mean, when you see it and when you looked at gameplay, it looked amazing. It looked crazy, like you wanted to play it yourself. But then, as soon as you jumped into it, it just didn't feel right, which was very, annoying and, dissatisfying for me. I mean, this game was so fun, especially the single player. I played through the whole single player. There's one part I think I was stuck on, and I just dropped it. Completely dropped the game because it just became too frustrating. Not that I quit on it, it's just I dropped it. I was gonna get back to it, but I never did remember to go back to it. But playing the multiplayer, it felt great. It felt like a different shooter, than what I'm playing currently. I've been playing Blacklight and Battlefield, and it just feels completely different. And I'm glad that there are games trying to make things different, because that's why I think EA was going for it, going for a game that was completely different. Just like the previous Crysis 1, that game was completely different from any shooter out in the market, and it was really exciting to see. And with Crysis 3 coming up soon, or should be soon, they're making a lot of changes to the game, but I just hope one of them is actually making your movement fluid and making things work a little bit better. And just adding weapons that add some variety to this game, because every weapon to me felt really generic and didn't really feel like it had it didn't stand out. Like the Scar didn't stand out to me. I mean, there's the Volt gun that shoots electricity. It kind of it was cool, but they just didn't really stand out. I do want to see something better. I want to see something refreshing. I mean, this game is a sight for sore eyes. I mean, it's beautiful. You look at the gameplay, it's awesome. It's great to watch. And just as soon as you hit the game, you start playing a couple rounds, you just don't feel it, which kind of sucks for me. I mean, I was, like I said, I was really looking forward to this game, especially playing the beta and the demo. It's one of those games also that you can't just pick up and play and just do well, or expect to do well, because it's very challenging. It's sometimes tactical. It's actually really tactical, and you have to have pretty decent skills in order to play and have enough fun, actually killing people, because it just feels like, for the most part, if you're playing with a good team, or if you're playing with some other good players who've been playing Crysis and who still are playing Crysis, you're probably not going to have a good day. You're not going to have a good game, which kind of sucks and is frustrating, because I a couple times I joined into a game where it's level 50s or higher ranking guys, and man, was I being beaten, severely beaten. I mean, I had no chance. I went 0-12 and just horrible. I couldn't get a kill on anybody. As soon as I was spotted or seen, even turning on my cloak mode or being invisible, I was still spotted and killed fairly quickly, and so were my teammates. I don't think anybody got more than 10 kills on my team, but that's to the hardened guys, to the hardened veterans that still play this game. I mean, I would still play it if it just felt a little bit smoother for me. Even the controls, like sometimes when I'm trying to click down to aim down sights, it's not responsive. But that's not all being negative. There's a lot of things that work in the game mechanics. Using the armor ability and the actual cloaking ability is really intuitive, and it really does bring out a lot of skill and well balanced players, players that exactly what they're doing in this game, can really put a hurting on other players, which is actually how games are supposed to be. They're not supposed to be easy and easy won. And you're not, you can't just go into any game and actually expect to do pretty well. So that's what Crysis 2 is exactly. It's difficult to get into at first. Even as a low ranking soldier right now, I'm trying to earn everything very slowly. It takes time to actually level up, and leveling up my modules, it's fun in the same way, because every time I unlock something, or every time I get something new, I feel a great self accomplishment. I mean, I feel like I've really completed something, and that's what makes this game really fun. Even for the players that are sticking to it and sticking by its side. I mean, I would too, but there's just a lot of shooters that kind of are beating this game ahead. And I mean, rarely do you see any gameplay of Crysis on anywhere on YouTube unless you look it up yourself. I mean, if you guys do know of a Crysis channel or somebody that plays Crysis, it's amazing. I mean, it's great, because they're keeping something alive that probably shouldn't be, not to be negative, but I just don't know if EA took their time with this game. It just doesn't feel right. But everything does look good, and I'm kind of getting excited for Crysis 3, because I want to see what it's all about. I want to see if it will make that comeback. It will be better than Crysis 2. But for right now, looking at a single player actual gameplay, it did look kind of the same, with a little bit of visual update. Just everything was about the same, and the weapons, new weapons like the bow, and a couple new guns that we've seen. Graphics were outstanding as usual, and I don't want to play something that's fun to look at and just kind of hard to get into. But other than that, I think my only biggest problem was just being able to move and being responsive and fluid while moving, and that's my only issues with this game. And I just wish it was a little bit more responsive. For $60, I know I chipped out $60 for this on Xbox, and the first time I was playing it, it took me a while to get into it. It took me a while to get good, and I just felt kind of cheated. I don't know if you guys feel the same. If you guys do have fun with this game. I mean, the single player is great. That's all I've been actually really playing, just the single player, because the multiplayer, it just feels too weird. But single player so far for me has been great. It's been a great experience, and I do love the time that they spent on the single player. Just wish they spent a lot more time on the multiplayer as well. But this commentary and this gameplay is just wrapping up. I wanted to thank you guys for watching, and be sure to leave a thumbs up, and let me know what you guys think in the comments below about Crysis 3. It's been your boy ATF Cobra. Peace.